Well, hey, my loves. Welcome to 90 Days of Goddess. It is now, actually, it's 12:30 a.m. The day after, well, Thursday. Yesterday, technically, was Valentine's Day. And I'm finally home eating me some kale salad. I know how I love my kale salad in a Ziploc bag because I eat them like chips. I'm going to stop saying what day it is. I'll just, whatever day of Goddess it is, my days run into each other. I told you all this wasn't going to be something necessarily in order. So, it is what it is, right? And I realized I wasn't going to do a video, but I was like, I'll probably do one when I go home. Forgot. And I thought about it. I said, you know what, Kim, go ahead. Do a video, right? And I was like, well, I have so much to talk about. This series has been very fluid. And if you follow me on social media, you'll notice that I'm not really advertising it. I don't even anticipate, got my wine. I don't even anticipate a whole lot of people grabbing hold to this until months later. And it's kind of like the plan, because I want this to continue to just share between a few. I haven't been sharing the videos out. I haven't even been I might tag some of them. Haven't even been blogging on them, because this is all unfolding for me as well as for many of you, right? And I can't wait till this is all done, because I want, like, now I'm starting to get excited. I'm sorry, it's hot as hell. Oh, it's the cayenne pepper. Y'all know I love my cayenne pepper, and I done poured it all on my kale salad. And so, I don't know. I'm excited about what this is going to unveil. About me, about you all, the process. There's a lot of fluidity here. And every day is just not the same. It's not the same, but I will say this. There's not a day that goes by since I've started this, even before I started this, a week or two before I started this series, that I'm getting revolutionary, I guess or radical change within myself. Even to the point of me fighting some of that change, because sometimes we ourselves, and I'm not going to explain what cognitive dissonance is, but I want you to go, I might put a link to a video on cognitive dissonance. It's been shared quite a bit, but I studied cognitive dissonance probably about 10 years ago, okay? And it's something that's very, it's a simple concept, but it's something so subtle. It's so, hold on, IG going off again. It's so subtle that we can operate in it and not understand, not know this is where our problem lies, and it's within our own cognitive dissonance. And I've seen that within myself. And I want y'all to know, I'm not putting myself down. I'm just like in Monday's video, I see my shit, okay? I see what's up with me. I'm seeing through like a different lens, and I'm telling you, 2018, as I've said many of times before, and I'm going to continue to say it, it's a year that you better get your shit together. You better be fully invested in who you are, and what you need to do. Or, it's almost like the church said, you have to be the remnant. You're going to have to be the remnant. Go look that up. I'm not about to explain that, because this is not going to be a long video, and I mean that. So, with the cognitive dissonance, hopefully the story goes full circle in my explanation, but I'm titling this video Under Cognitive Dissonance, but I'm going to title it Your Emotions Lie. Or maybe Where Does Your Emotions Lie? LIE. with everything I've been going through, just with this new awakening, this insightful, this revelation of Kimberly Nzinga Bradley. With this, I'm having at times, I know I talked about it in one video, but when I'm talking about, I think it was decision factors and taking, your 24 hours or 72 hours, you think things out, you allow processes to go. If you get angry, if you get mad, if you get sad, get horny, whatever, let it ride out. Emotions are nothing more than gauges. It's almost like with my truck, my water pump went out. My water pump was going bad, and I actually had a coolant leak. And one of the things that you have with a coolant leak is when the engine is going, that little gauge on the side, you don't want that gauge to go past the half mark. I know where my gauge is supposed to stay, and it's almost like at a little past a quarter of a tank. Almost, it looked like the gas meter or whatever. And I started noticing it would just jump. It would jump. Then it'd go back. Then it'd jump. One day it jumped, and I was like, why is my car sound making all this noise? And so when I stopped the car, I noticed my car was still running. But I took the key out, and I'm like, what is that? Well, it was the fan. The fan automatically kicks in. I think it's called not the belt fan. I forget what the name of the fan is, but it's loud. And what it's doing, it would only run, like if I was doing highway miles, right? Highway miles, you're getting a bigger speed, the fan is automatically going, so the engine would stay cool, and the coolant, because it was a coolant leak, it wasn't allowing the car to overheat. But when I was idling or sitting in traffic, it would run hot. And you don't want your engine to run hot, because that means you won't have an engine. Ladies, be like me, and anytime you get a car, get an extended warranty. Because I got my car 5 years ago. My truck, I got it 5 years ago, and right now with all it's been nothing but engine issues. So the water pump, the fuel injectors, all that. Only thing I had to pay is the deductible, or I would have been out of pocket about $5,000. Little fun fact for you. Okay, so look, we need a man. We need men. Men are great, but honey, use your thinker, okay? Use your thinker, because when a man ain't there, you gotta be there, okay? So nevertheless, my daddy raised me good. So it would run hot, right? So this I was like, fuck, it's running hot, da-da-da-da-da. You don't want that to do it, but I didn't have money like that. And at the time, I didn't know it'd be covered under my warranty. Sometimes you got something, you don't know what you got. And so I started talking to some of the dudes, and I stopped by this one place, and the dude, he was flirting with me and stuff. He was like, you got a warranty? He was like, this is part of the engine. They will pay for it. I was like, what? But anyways, you have the thermostat in there, right? And the thermostat gauges the temperature of the vehicle, because if it overheats, you're talking about combustion. You're talking about your engine is going to be dead, and your car ain't shit without a engine. Okay? I want you all to look at your emotions and your body and your actions like a vehicle, okay? I want you to get this. Y'all know I speak in analogies and metaphors and shit, right? So you have the thermostat. The thermostat is a gauge. It's a visual gauge for you to see what's going on, okay? You have the engine. The engine is the main function. It's the main operating system. It's what you need, okay? Then you have the car, the truck. That's the body, okay? The body ain't no good without the engine, okay? So, going back to me, what I've been going through. My gauge been doing this. My emotional gauge been doing this little jumping thing. And sometimes, like when I know my truck was getting real bad, Because I was pouring antifreeze in it, like putting water in my body. Because I was procrastinating and I didn't get my truck fixed. So I was stopping and getting antifreeze all the time. But at some point that ran out because one of the plastic things had melted. And so as quick as I would pour the antifreeze in, I was losing it. So I do that. I'm sorry. Talking about me, all right? Okay. So it would do this little jumping thing, and I noticed my emotions when I'm, kind of ruminating over different things. My gauge it'll go here, 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 and it's been on intense lately to the point. 1 minute I'm just like loving and forgiving, like, oh, it's cool, and then next I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna do that, and I'm not gonna do this, and da da da. I have a friend. I'll talk about her in a bit. She's still getting on my nerves. Girls as good as gold. She get on my nerves, and I'm starting to realize why she get on my nerves. Oftentimes, the things we hate in others or the things we don't like in someone else. I'm gonna come back to the gauge, y'all. So hear the story out, okay? It's because that person either reflects, for one, they either reflect a part of us that we wish we were. And this could be on a subconscious level. 2, they represent or reflect what we once were that we now hate. Or 3, they reflect, what did I say was 1? I hope I'm not repeating it, but they're reflecting actually what we want. Again, this could be on a subconscious level. Or more so reflect what it is that we need to learn. And so we start fighting against that in different ways. And with this friend, because I was like I want to cut this person off, the person get on my nerves, but there's someone they are a person that I need. I need her in a way that it's not too many people I'm intrigued with, because I like people that I can learn from. I ain't hanging out with you. I don't care how many people you see on my Instagram or you see me kicking it with and taking pictures with. Let me tell you something, baby. You'll know those who I really love. You will know. You will know. You'll know people that I really, gets down with. She's one of those I really get down with. And, but I couldn't understand where she fit in my life. And I didn't want to admit it, but this person has, when I calm down, every time, because she pissed me off so much and annoys me so much that my gauge is going up and down. And a lot of it is because my temperature, I'm getting overheated. I'm getting overheated because I don't understand. I don't understand. And not in a bad way. But what was happening was, because it's against my norm, because this person is so dynamic and different, and she's been like this. Like this is what I always see. I'm good at keeping a distance with some people. In the camera, I could do this all day. Y'all can see my big ass forehead and everything, and I don't care. But if I'm maneuvering around people, I'm like this. I know how to posture myself and keep myself at a distance. And this person is always infiltrating my space. In the weird, it's very intrusive. I'm like, get out of my space. Beat it. That's her word. Beat it, And she makes my gauges go off. And not just her. I'm noticing with certain people, they're making my gauge go off. And they're making my gauge go off not because I don't like them, not because I don't trust them. I'm just finding that out. But how God has aligned it is, he's like, these people won't go. And he's like, Kimberly, I'm trying to teach you something. These people have something to teach you. And the problem is they're teaching you something in the most unconventional way, and you're having a hard time understanding due to cognitive dissonance. Go look it up. I'm not about to explain cognitive dissonance, okay? Go look it up. And remember, I said cognitive dissonance can be very subtle. And the problem is a lot of our prejudices, a lot of our anxiety, a lot of our issues underlying issues, subconscious issues in regards to other people or trusting people and loving people and having compassion and extending a helping hand is due to the fact that we have our own form of cognitive dissonance. And how that cognitive dissonance have come into fruition or being, that's for you to figure out. Your environment, your racist ass mama, daddy, I don't know. Ignorance, I don't know. But at some point, you're going to have to fight against it and overcome it if you truly want to be the dynamic person that you're trying to be on this journey. And that's just the facts. And I can't, and like I keep telling you, if I have to go through this shit, y'all gotta go through it. Because God don't give me no passes. I'm one of those, I don't get passes. Everything's a lesson for me. So this person is teaching me things that, I'll be honest, I don't want to admit, because, you know, Kimberly thought she was compassionate. Kimberly thought she was supportive. Kimberly thought she was great. Kimberly thought she's a good person. Kimberly thought, I mean, even with all my issues, like, come on, bro. Like, on the most part, compared to if I was looking at you, I was on the scale, like, you're here and I'm there. That's how arrogant I was, right? And I'm seeing this, even though how she moves is that we balance each other out. And though she moved differently, she's teaching me things in a way through her actions and how she deals with me and how I snap on. Let me tell you something. I snap on her. Like I snap. And right now, I'm on my period. And my period has had me on one, okay? It really has. Like, I was crying earlier. It's like, and it's Valentine's Day. At one moment, I'm feeling beautiful and awesome, because I ain't gonna lie, men been on me lately. Like, I'm really feeling myself. And everyone's saying the same thing. So I'm one of those, I'm a tracker, and I'm very competitive. So when everyone's saying the same thing, I'm like, must be true. I like accolades. I do. I like being complimented. I do. I like accolades. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it allows me to know I'm on the right path. You know, I ain't wearing booty shorts and shit. I ain't doing nothing hoochie-fied. It's people are noticing my true essence and my beauty, which they always have. But I mean, it's just on a higher scale. So anyway, I guess I'm seeing how I was high-minded and somewhat self-righteous in a lot of my thinking and in a lot of my self-reflection. I gave myself too much credit. And this person, because she comes from a different culture and because she grew up differently, I'm learning a different perspective. I don't think my perspective was necessarily wrong, and I don't think hers is necessarily the only right way. But we have to learn to get some continuity. And it's funny how, one of my desires is to be a mother and a wife, but I'll be honest and very transparent with you all. There are times, like, I had that moment today, like, it's like, Kim, do you really want children? Is this really what you want? Look at all the things you want to do and all the goals you have. And a couple of my homegirls, they was like, Kim, you strap your baby on your back or your kids on your hip, your back, and keep it moving. That's the kind of person you are. And I'm realizing as I get older, I'm 36 now, I'll be 37 in May, and it's like, am I selfish? What if I meet that guy and then this guy's in this particular profession, and it's so much. And I have to ask, as much as I want something, I have to gauge it. Is this truly what you want? Is this truly what you need? And I was asking those questions from a very selfish standpoint, I guess. And even how I was serving people. The person I'm talking about, this person, if there was one word that I could bestow on her, a word that has made me view myself and view the world and view love differently, even view the word differently, because it's a word that we use loosely. And the word is community. She has truly redefined community. Now, I can't spend this entire video telling you. I'll probably do another video on it, but just trust and believe and know that I've gotten a revelation out of, and let me tell you, and I think because, you know, when I was younger, I wanted to be a missionary. When I first got saved, I wanted to be a missionary. I wanted to go to Africa. I did. I wanted to go to Haiti. I wanted to go to South America. I wanted to be a missionary. And today, because I'm moving by Atlanta Airport. Well, off of like Metropolitan, so that's like you go on 85. So the airport's really close, and plus when I'm Ubering, I get a lot of airport runs. It's Atlanta, so everyone's going, like, literally you can pick someone up on a corner or from the train bus station, the train station, and they're going to the airport because people. That's how it is here in Atlanta. And I was gonna pull my car over, but a lot of times I drive slow and I look at the runways and I look at the planes, and like a little kid, I just look up and I'm just like, I love Atlanta and I like my life, but I always see me going up. I feel like I can feel the engine. I can feel the vibrations of that engine, even whether they're landing or whether they're going up. And I will sit there and I will watch it, because you can be like the runways are everywhere. It's a huge airport. I think it's the largest in the world, largest international airport. And it does something to me. It reminds me of when I was a little girl, those things, I want to be an archaeologist. I want to be what's that? Is it astrology? It's not astrology, but when you work studying the cosmos, or if it was missionary, it was a weird span of things. But a lot of times our desires as kids make up this archetype in our mind of who we're to be, and actually, or who we're going to be. And actually, there's a practice. I think it's by Carolyn Mize. What is the name of that book? Carolyn Mize, Sacred Contract, I think, or Archetype. She talks about it in one of her books. And those archetypes from when we were a child actually help make up the dynamics of who we turn out to be and who we are, or who our purpose is. Now, I say all that to say this. With my emotions being skewed, especially on my period, and all these wonderments, all these ups and downs, over, reflecting over love and reflection over friendships, failed love, failed companions, failed jobs and professions, and failing out of school. I was thinking about that today. And my gauge was all over the place. And that's when I got tonight, where your emotion lies, L-I-E-S, or L-I-E. Oftentimes, our emotions, and this is why you can't respond to everything so quickly. This is why you can't react. Sometimes it may take weeks, it may take months, and you got to stay tight-lipped and keep your mouth shut, because though the emotions are going. See, remember, my car was still driving. It was still drivable. It was still moving. Even I would have to pour antifreeze in it, but that was only masking it for a time. At some point, I had to do some engine work. Now, it's no problem, because we fixed the coolant leak. We got a new water pump. We got a new filtration in it. And this is what the 90 Days of Goddess is. It's filtration. It's your water pump. To fix my car, I think the piece to fix it all, in raw material, because let's be honest, when you get your vehicle fixed, and I have a truck, when you get your vehicle fixed, Look, a quarter of that shit is the actual pot. So I probably pay the pots I know was anywhere it was probably from $70 to $200. Now I don't even have to pay the deductible, but the warranty people paid over $1,000. That was the labor. The funny thing is, I think it would have been cheaper if my ass would have had some sense and got it fixed 3 months ago when I knew I had the coolant leak. But I procrastinated. And we tend to procrastinate in life. We tend to hold off on the things that turn into a big thing, and now we have a big mess, and it's an inconvenience. And this was a big inconvenience for me. A big inconvenience for me. But again, I learned my lesson. But it's neither here nor there. What I want to take from this for you all is understanding your temperature and your gauge, and understanding that your emotions are going to be skewed. Your thoughts are going to be skewed. I don't care how much praying you're doing. I don't care how much fasting you're doing. The human mind and the human body is going to be subjected to the emotions. And your emotional state is not to say it's always a lie, but it don't know. So it goes into panic, like my engine. So shit, when it starts to overheat, if you've ever been in a vehicle, go on YouTube. If you see a vehicle that starts to overheat, what happens? The dashboard goes off, the car starts sputtering, all things start happening because it goes into a panic mode. And then what happens? Within minutes, it will automatically shut down the whole vehicle, because the vehicle has enough damn sense to understand and know that if we do not stop this, we're gonna really cause danger. It's an automatic defense system built into your vehicle. Just like there's an automatic defense system that's built into you. But baby, we don't want to get to shut down. And this is why you have to deal with you. You have to know where your emotion lies. And I'm gonna tell you, I've been obsessing about a situation that I'm still kind of like, it bothers me. And I'm like, God, take this away. Take this cup away from me. Take it away. Fine. Take it away. I can deal with a lot of things, but there's some things I just can't, I can't deal. And the thing and it's funny because why I envy, in a complimentary way, of my good girlfriend, I call her my sister, the one I get on my goddamn nerves. What I take away from her is, now let me tell you, I tell her, when we have our talks, I tell her, I say, I don't think you know how much of a beautiful soul you are. But she's broken just like me. She's just broken a different way. I deposit in her the way she needs, and she deposits into me the way I need. It just annoys me. Her sense, her openness, and her ability to love made me realize just how fearful I am to even be that vulnerable. And I thought I was, and I wasn't. And I'm not talking about being vulnerable. But honey, this ain't about no man. I'm so over talking about men. Over that. I'm talking about true compassion for community, for other people's soul, for their heart. And I'll be honest, this person's not even a Christian. And the irony is she displays, in my opinion, a more Christian perspective and heart than most Christians that I've dealt with. And mind you, I've been a church administrator. I was in the church. I was going to go to seminary. I was deep in this, y'all. But we get so self-righteous at times and so high-minded. How they say in the church, don't be so Don't be so heavily minded that you are of no earthly good. And so many of us are that. And until you are the victim of that, until you feel how that feels, you will change how you treat people. You won't change. And the funny thing is, I'm changing inwardly. And I'll be honest, I won't even tell her how much I'm changing inwardly just by watching. Now, she still get on, I'm going to keep saying, she gets on my nerves. If you've seen us, she gets on my nerves. But this person is gold. And I want to be gold, y'all. I still want to be crazy, Kimberly. I still want to be stubborn at times. I like being spoiled. I like being bougie. I like it. It's part of who I am. But I want, and I remember praying this to God some time ago, and I was like, God, when I got laid off, I made a promise, and I was like, God, I'm just going to serve. That being the homeless, sex victims, which is one of my passions, is mental illness and those burdened or hurt by sex crimes, young girls, and mentorship. I did it for years when I was in law enforcement and loved it. But I guess when you don't have the uniform on, you kind of question, how authentic are you? Y'all, I am learning to love in spite of. I'm learning to love in a way I don't think I've ever loved. I take that back. I did love like this, and I loved like this when I was a little girl. But I killed that little girl. I silenced that little girl, and I talk about her in my book. And sometimes I even write to her. Now, the little girl is that person, that little girl. It's Kimberly. Nunu, as my family call me. I have so many. Y'all, if y'all only knew I have Pumpkin, Miss Pie, Nunu, Miss Piggy is one of my names. Pie Face, Miss Pie, Pie Face. My family has so many names, but mainly Nunu. And people that love me call me Kimberly. That's people that call me Kim. They kind of go, but I'm Kimberly. My name is Kimberly. I like Kimberly, anyways. And this little girl, Nunu, Kimberly, is a person that, because of my sexual abuse and my trauma, and just having to grow up so fast, and I guess somewhat of a form of PTSD, so to speak, I froze her in time. And so there's a young girl that is waiting to be released, and I've been working on that. And this little girl is almost, it's like this it's this other being in me, right? It's like this other girl. And my mom, I remember when it started, my mom, very few people can see that little girl. And my mom is one of them. I've actually had, I'm not gonna say that, but my mom, and my mom said when she wanted to feel happy, when she wanted love, she would come in my bedroom. And I remember, y'all know I have these big cheeks. If you see in my kid pictures, I got these big cheeks. I've always had this face. And my mom said I was the most happiest baby. I was the most happiest little girl. And she said I would wake up with this huge smile, and she always playing in my face. And I had this huge smile. And she said my arms, every time she would come, my arms would be wide open. And my eyes would still be closed. But she said my arms would just be open. And she said she knew something was wrong when that little girl didn't smile no more, didn't have the big smiles, didn't have the big wide open arms. But even in the midst of all that pain, I would try to extend my love for people. And I was as a young girl, somewhat of a people pleaser, because I just wanted to make people happy. And sometimes I even see it in my adulthood. I'm very selective with it, but I still do it at times. And I've had to accept that my nature is to love. But I viewed love as a weakness. I viewed love as passive. I view love as marking you as a sucker. And a lot of us women, we do that. Black, white, or zebra stripe. In this day of feminism and hyper-femininity and everything else, and us running companies and businesses and being officers and sergeants and lieutenants and captains and everything else and paying our own goddamn bills, why not be the man that we wish and hope for? Why not be the man that failed us? Problem is we can't be those things while suppressing our nature, which is to love. And I'm tired, y'all. I'll probably do a part 2 to this. I don't know where, if I went off track, I hope it serves a purpose, but loves. How many of you all are tired? How many of you all, I mean tired in a good way. How many of you are willing to allow yourself to be vulnerable? Not stupid, but vulnerable. Open. How the saying go? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We don't have to be fools out here. And to be able to be that open and vulnerable, ladies, we're going to have to check our gauge and see where our emotions lies, because our emotions are lying to us. Right now, I had to understand that right now, Kimberly, you're not sad, you're not happy, you're not mad. Your body's going through a physiological change. Chick, you on your period. Calm the fuck down. Calm down. Let it pass. Let the thoughts pass. Whatever. You're going to be okay in a couple of days. And my cramp's been on one. But my emotions are heavily affected on my cycle. And we ain't going to talk about the moon and everything else. And I think today's officially the 15th. And we're supposed to have an eclipse, if I'm not mistaken. So the energies are off. The energies are off. Do not allow the vibrations to get you off. Learn to check your gauge. And understand, in checking your gauge, before the engine failure, it may not be what you think it is. The very thing you think is a detriment to you, and the very things that's making your emotions trigger, may be the very thing that is sent into your life to help change you and grant you a different perspective. I feel like I'm saying the same thing in different ways every time. Well, that's how the Lord talks. Some people get analogies different ways, but it has officially been 40 minutes. Ain't that some ish? I'm going to finish my kale salad and my wine. Where does your emotions lie? Or lie? Does your emotions lie? Are you checking your gauge? Check your gauge, honey. The coolant in the engine represents, and I don't always do this, and I need to be better at it, but the coolant, that 1 gallon of coolant in your vehicle represents your spiritual readings, the Word of God, prayer, meditation, accountability, discipline, exercise, nutrition, those things, education, TED Talks, book reading, not garbage, not 50 Shades of Whoredom. I'm talking about read something that you don't understand. I watch videos, I watch TED Talks, and I watch people, you would be like, him, really? If you see my playlist, you'd be like, really? I'm watching videos on quantum physics and metaphysical metaphysical formulas and things of that sort. I love TED Talks. I watch, this is one called Sky TV. I like spiritual teachings. I like anything that deals with archaeology and historical accounts in regards to whether it's mythology or biblical accounts or whatever. I love archaeology. And any kind of excavation. I love the studying of the sea, oceanography, any kind of marine type. I love it all. Space, I love it all. Conspiracy theory, I love it all. And it cultivates me. And it allows me to get back in range. It allows me to get back in order. What are you doing to get you in order, honey? Oh, I think I'm going to do a lesson out of that. Okay, I got to go. It's 42 minutes. I just seen the time. And I'm tired. And I got to be up at 6. And I know it's like 1:30. And I got to get in this water. Because my ass about itching, so. Okay, I'm getting a little too candid. I love you, my loves. Y'all take care. Right? Be blessed. Go on the way of the Lord. Check your gauge. See where your emotions lie. Let's get this right. Okay?